me go ahead and switch to my medic build. I'm going to be doing a stream basically explaining the different variance builds that I use. There's no really one set in the Dark Zone to run. Now again, I don't think I'm a great player. I've never really thought that, but I've always thought that my builds have been one of the best builds because I always run my build according to what I fight. I try to use my builds in a strategic manner, so I feel that final measure easy. Yeah, there's so many different medic builds, and I'm gonna walk you through some of these builds that I have, and I want to discuss in what situations I would use that build. I had somebody tell me that they do want me to make a medic stream because I don't think I'm a good healer. I really don't. But I feel like if a good healer had my build and used it properly, he would be an awesome healer. Now, there's different versions. One of my favorite versions, and I've gone back to it, it is the 5-piece Tactician. The 5-piece Tactician, for me, it is good. Depending if you're fighting the DZ against a lot of solo players when you're in a team. Again, this is for team based. Silly, I make the best healer builds for head. I don't know what that means. Bash spammer, you probably do. I don't know. I don't recall. I just know for the best healers, it just depends whether you want to run skill haste, skill power, maximum skill power, or if you want to run signature abilities. What's up? What's going on, Black Ninja? Hey, okay, Miller. That's true. Okay, guys. Pocket healer, or Miller Killer, however you want to know him. He's probably one of the best healers I know. He has different healer builds. If anything, you might want to ask him questions on how he does his. Again, it's more about a lot of practice fighting a lot of players. Along with this, not only it just depends on who you're fighting, because sometimes you always got to change it up. Sometimes you can be Tactician, Final Measure, or Reclaimer. One will work better depending on your situation. You know, if you're fighting either sweaties or you're going to be fighting people that are kind of scrubbish and there's a lot of them, then you want to put on Tactician. But for me, this is one of the ones that I might go to, that I always go to regardless of what's going on. It is the 5-piece, and how I have it set up is basically all rolled for skill power, 10,000 electronics, 411 is my cap, I believe. I do have probably the best mods in the game, 267 electronics with 3,322 skill power. All my performance mods are at 6% first aid ally heal. Now, why do I do that? That's because on my ally heal, it's at 461 base, right? 461 base ally heal. That means, now if I'm correct, and Bash Spammer can correct me if I'm wrong, now this is what he explained to me, is that when you pop that defib will give you half of the amount that you have, so half of 461,000. Then for the remaining 10 seconds, you will get it. You will get the rest of the heal within that deal. So let's say I have 500,000. You get half of it would be 250,000, and the next 250,000 you're going to be getting in the span of 10 seconds. You divide 10 seconds by 250,000, and that's pretty much what you're getting. You're getting like 25,000 per tick per second in heals. So it's like a mobile reclaimer if you think about it. Especially if you got especially if you have Vigorous on. That's why Vigorous is a big deal in this meta. Let's see. With this, let's go to my character sheet. For this deal right here, I have in my deal. Oh, guys, y'all give me. I don't know why it's. Right here, I have a skill haste of 45%. And let me see. Yeah, my skill haste is at 45%. And let's say I were to get my stacks. Boom, 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 boom. So my skill haste is at 45%. Vig is literally the strongest thing in the game, on par with Combat Medic. Yeah, Combat Medic will shoot you instant heal almost immediately. So when I'm at 30 stacks, that's not including, guys, again, I run competent and talented, right? With talented you get 15%. So even if you didn't have stacks and you just killed like a turret or something, you get that 15% proc and it resets all the time. Every time you kill something with it. So that's 15%. So now I'm at 30. And let's say I have, I get talented proc. Yo, I'm gonna have 45% skill power. But that's not including if you were to put on Death by Proxy, which is 20%. It increases your skill power by 20%, guys. If you were to have that instead of me running what's this, Battle Buddy as a healer, sometimes I do that depending who I'm fighting again. That right there would shoot me at, well, let's think about it again. 20 plus 15, that's 35%. So with the 30 stack plus Death by Proxy and Talented, you have 65%. That's more than a 6-piece can give you. A 6-piece can only give you 60% stacks. I mean, obviously, but Vigorous is just so strong. It's worth having the defib and the Vigorous. Anywho, so what's my skill power? 518. My skill haste is really fast. Everything's rolled for skill power on everything. I think I got skill haste on here. Here you go, skill haste on my holster, skill power and electronics on my knee pads. Electronics, first aid, ally, heal. Same thing here. Skill power on my mask and electronics. Everything rolled for electronics. Skill haste, health, electronics. I'm gonna go back over here. I have my final measure. Now this is a variant. This is another variant that I have. Either, let's say I'm fighting some sweaties, but they're not very good sweaties, then I'll probably run this build. Because it allows me, and you would like to run it with 2 healers. Because obviously with the inventive backpack, it gives you the most. You get 15% already. So you're constantly maximizing when you have Death by Proxy and Talented on your weapon. And it's pretty much rolled the same way. Everything rolled for ally heal. I think this one has a sticky bomb damage mod. And so sometimes I run sticky. Sometimes I'll switch it up. So what I'll do is instead I'll run a ninja bike. If it's like really kind of hardcore sweaties, I'll put on the ninja bike with some skill haste mods. And then run this with short bow knee pads. You know, and I'll switch this performance mod for something else. But that basically allows me, when everybody's spamming nades, we all spam nades at the same time. And I'm constantly getting nades back, and I'm constantly able to shoot them back quickly. So that's another variance that I have with this build. Another way I run it is also my favorite. If it's not too much of a problem, I prefer to run, I'm about to show you right now. Switch this up. I prefer to run my Tactician with the Inventive. It's one of my favorites. I feel like it has the strongest heals in the game. And I'll show you why. Let's go ahead. Now, my base skill power is at 440. My base ally heals at almost 500,000, guys. Almost 500,000 with the inventive backpack, as long as I stay at full health, which normally you do. So you're constantly doing this. Let's say I get my stacks. if I'm fortunate enough to get my stacks, I'm at 500, almost 550,000. If I were to proc talented, I'd easily go over that. And what I enjoy about this is that look at that, 48.90. 48.90. If I pulse out and use it up, right, I think my base pulse is at 44.5. That's my base pulse. That's just with the inventive backpack. When I switch it up to the other build, when I switch it up to my regular tactician, let me see, my base pulse is at 41%. I lose about 3%. But I do enjoy running this because the skill haste is, with that 5 piece you get 5% more skill haste, which really helps. You're only losing 10% of skill power when I don't run the inventive, so I don't know. I enjoy both healers. Pretty much that's it for my healer builds. I do have other healer builds that I haven't showed, but they're really meant for a different playstyle. It's basically my Reclaimer with signature ability resource gain, and it basically gives me my ult back before the ult is on immunity. So let's say for a length of time I pop my tack link, and I'll get my tack link back before the immunity is over. So that's a signature ability with a Reclaimer. I like using it, but it's really hard to use if you don't have a good team to help you fight, because sometimes you get focused pretty quickly. And for it to work, you need commanding and determine, which it doesn't allow you to do too much damage to the players. So I think more than anything it's a good PvE, but mainly I'm focused on trying to heal players. Let me see. As for that, I think I'm pretty much done. I mean, those are just my healer builds. Basically, always, as a healer, you should always have your shotgun, your house, and your blue pistol with determined and cool-headed. Y'all guys know the rest. Guys, thanks for dropping by. If you have any more questions and you want to know more information about my healer builds, let me know. Again, I don't think it's me. I think it's my builds. Again, I have the best mods, it's my build. It's not me. I don't think I'm a great player, but I think if a great player were to take my builds, I think they could do way better than I could. All right, guys, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate it.